Okay, and I believe we are live. Let's see if it's showing up here. Yep, we're live right now. So guys, welcome. This is a live Q&A to answer any questions you guys have about starting electronics reseller business or growing your existing electronics reseller business. Or, you know, you can ask us whatever you'd like. As a matter of fact, we're pretty open here today. We're going to be here for probably the next 20, 30 minutes answering whatever questions you guys have. So you want to ask us how to scale up your business or what our favorite food is, we're here to to answer any questions that you guys have. So Aaron, I guess I'll let you start off if you wanted to say something about maybe getting started in an electronics business, or maybe.
Absolutely. So one of the I got started in an electronic business, reseller business, about 2.5 years ago. And what attracted me, the way that the business was explained to me before I even touched anything or tried anything, was that we're going to put up some ads. Then people are going to respond to those ads. We're going to try to buy a percentage of the items that people have, and then we're just going to turn around and sell them for more. And I like the idea of it because it seemed like the whole process, that whole kind of, we could call it the sales process, was kind of short and it was very simple. I was like, all right, you know, people, they flip homes. There's people out there that flip homes. There's people that flip cars. There's a, you know, fairly big industry. I drive down the highway and see all the car dealerships, and they have, you know, in the front, we buy cars cash. So, you know, they're of course buying cars from the auction, but they get people that walk in and they offer them cash for their car, and they buy the car for less and they turn around and sell it for more. Now there's a percentage of people that want the absolute top dollar for their car. So those people will try to sell it locally. But there's some people that don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with putting up an ad for their car, someone saying they're going to meet them to test drive the car, the person flaking, the person needs to get a loan. They rather sell it for less than the top dollar they could potentially get just to get rid of it so they can move on to other things. I did this a couple of years ago. I had a car, decided I wanted to sell it. I could have sold it myself. I had time to sell it myself, but I just wanted to get rid of it. I just wanted to get rid of it so I didn't even have to think about it. So it's like, okay, if people do this in these other industries and in other items, I could see them doing it with electronics. So got into the electronic reseller business. And I remember I made money within 24 hours. I put up a couple ads on Craigslist. I had this lady call me. She had 2 S8s or S8 Pluses. They were cracked and damaged. I bought them, sold them on eBay as cracked and damaged, and they sold that day, and I made like $180 within 24 hours of getting started. Not rich, not going to get, not going to, buy a Grant Cardone airplane with that. But I said, if I could just do this consistently, even if some people don't like the price, even if I'm not able to get everyone down in price, even if I'm, even if I run into some issues, if I could just get one or two items a day and I could do this consistently, this could be pretty good part-time money, right? If I could make an extra $50 or $100 or possibly even more a day in profit doing it, this would sound great. So that was kind of the mentality I had going into this, and just staying consistent and taking action is what allowed me to kind of grow the electronic reseller business. And after I got started with it, a couple months later, I went part-time at my job. A few months after that, I quit my job, and I've been doing this full-time ever since. When I got started, I had about $192. And I was working 40 hours a week at a job, getting off work at 9 o'clock at night. So I would just set up meetups and I would just work when I wasn't at work. And there was sometimes I'd set up appointments with people and they didn't want to wait till I got off work. So they'd end up selling their item to someone else. But that's okay. When I got started, I didn't have money to buy the high-end phones, which were iPhone 7 Pluses. So sometimes someone would say they got an iPhone 7 Plus. I wouldn't be able to pay anywhere near what that phone was worth because I didn't have that much money. So I'd lose those deals, but that's okay. What I noticed that worked for me and what I've seen with other people that get started that have a lot going on, don't have a lot of money and don't have a lot of experience with this, that do pretty good, is that they just get started. And even though we all have self-doubts, even though we're all nervous, we're not going to pick up any items, even though we're still not sure why people would sell their items so cheap, is that they just kind of get started and they figure it out along the way. I was listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad yesterday. I don't know if any of you guys have read that book, Robert Kiyosaki's book. And he said some people want to wait for all the lights to turn. It's like if someone wants to go on vacation and they want to wait for all the lights to turn green from where they are till their destination, they'll never get started. You just got to get started. And if you run into some red lights or some things that hold you down, at least you're making progress and moving forward. And when he said that, it kind of resonated with me. I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of applied to any business. You just kind of got to get started and have some faith and learn as you grow. So basically, that kind of sums up why I got started in the reseller electronic business, and just a couple things that I learned kind of going through it over the last, 2.5-ish plus years.
Awesome. So we have a question. Bukarian says, hello, I have a problem with being suspended on eBay. So you guys want to answer that? Or I guess I can say, so Bukarian, you can still get into this business. We have what's called direct buyers that will actually buy your phones direct. I don't know if you've tried that, but we actually have people that will just buy your electronics outright, so you don't have to sell on eBay. So if you haven't tried that yet, I believe Aaron does that quite a bit, right?
Absolutely.
And we have people on this group.
Sell on multiple platforms. If a phone is unlocked, paid off, I'll sell it on SwapUp for top dollar. If it's cracked, I'll usually sell it to Feldon Richards, who buys cracked phones for very, very good prices. Keep your options open. I have about 4 different places I sell phones to. So, there's eBay, SwapUp, direct buyers, and some other places. So having multiple places to get rid of your devices is a really good thing to have.
One of the great things about this business is I know, things with the way things are right now are kind of rocky for some people, and certain industries are kind of uncertain. But the cool thing about the reseller business in particular is that, people have been buying their stuff since the Middle Ages. Pawn shops have existed since then, and it's pretty cool that, you could basically post a couple ads for people, saying that you buy items, and within that same day or tomorrow, you're buying something you can make $150 profit, and you put cash in your pocket right away. And the nice thing about that is that it's flexible. So these people are coming to you. So whether you're working a job or you got another business that you've got, some of us, I think actually all 3 of us have another business that we have as well on top of the electronics reseller business. It's cool because it kind of fits around that schedule where, you're kind of working when it comes to you. So, oh, I got a lead right here. This guy wants to sell me a phone. Cool. I'm going to make $100 on it. It's nice. It's a little extra money, and it's consistent. Whether we're in a rough economy or we're in a thriving economy, people are always still selling their stuff, because when the economy is great, they're upgrading all their devices and they got to sell their old devices. When the economy is bad, people are selling off their stuff. They need the cash. So despite how things are going, it's usually a fairly strong economy. As a matter of fact, I started this business back in 2012 when the economy was probably one of the worst it's ever been, other than the current situation we're in. And it took off. I started this business then. So Chris, I can't see, there's a glitch on my thing. I can't see the questions coming in and stuff like that, but is there any other things that anybody had a question on?
Not yet. If anybody's got any questions, you guys can feel free. We don't know who all is on the live right now. So if you guys could type live in the comments below, that way we know who you are. We know what type of people are watching. If you're brand new, definitely type new as well. We want to know who the new people are who is just getting started with business. Mike Trev looks like he posted something. You learn a lot picking up lower end phones, and there are good when first. Oh yeah, he's talking about when you're first getting started in the business. So, all right, yeah, we got some people typing live now.
One of the great things about this too is that the skills that you learn in the reseller business, is you can start off, let's say you're a beginner, you don't have a lot of pocket. Like Aaron started off with $50 in his pocket with this business. Chris, I think you started off with 150. I started off with only 300. you could start off learning how to negotiate items that are only going to sell for, let's say, $100 and buy them for 30 bucks, right? But as you get more funds, you could start flipping things that are worth $400, $500, $600, sometimes even $1,000. And the cool thing is, whether you're flipping $1,000 item or 100, the skills are the same. So you learn a lot of valuable skills in this business that you can take towards other business, because negotiating a $100 phone is almost the same as negotiating a $500,000 house or a $30,000 car, right? So that's the cool thing about this, is that these skills that you learn with an electronics reseller business works great as a stepping stone to get into something bigger.
What's really cool is how reselling can get you and turn you onto other revenue streams. I now have 4 revenue streams because I started reselling electronics. I literally just got back from a meeting with a guy who hired me to be his eBay liaison to sell his item, to help his employees sell the items for him. And he's giving me 10% of the cut of the sales every single month. So
that's pretty awesome.
I also learned social media marketing, affiliate marketing, you name it. But like Dave is talking about, the skill sets that you learn as a reseller, they don't just go away either. Like, you can apply it to any other industry where there's buying and flipping. Like, it really is cool what you can do and what other revenue streams it'll put you on. I know Aaron he's always posting about his Amazon stuff. That's another revenue stream. It's great,
And as you're getting started, like, for example, here's a phone right here. It's an iPhone 8 Plus. I just personally bought this, like, I think it was 2 days ago. Let me take a look. So iPhone 8 Plus, and I bought it for 30 bucks. It's an unlocked phone with a cracked screen. Let's see if you guys can see this right here, right?
You're stealing from people, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, listen, wait till you hear this one. So here's the phone right there, right? It's just gonna crack back too. The front is in perfect condition, and then let me just try turning on. I don't know if the battery's dead or
How
not.
did you buy that for $30?
So listen to this. So the guy came in, right? And I originally offered him 130 bucks because an 8 Plus cracked unlocked right now with a cracked back is selling for about 260. So by the way, if you don't know a lot about the reseller business yet, I'm not going to fix this. I'm going to sell it just like that with the cracked back. Someone's going to buy that from me from like 260 to 300, depending whether I sell on eBay to a direct buyer. But so I was going to restore the phone, but the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So I was connecting it to the Wi-Fi, but it wouldn't connect. We couldn't restore the phone. So we went into iCloud.com and I had him remove his Find My iPhone from the computer. So that way it turned off the Find My iPhone app. But I was like, unfortunately, the Wi-Fi is not working on this phone. And I'd really love to buy it, but that is going to, be very detrimental to the sale price. So I said, unfortunately, I can't do the 130 anymore. The only thing I could do is like $30. So I'm just going to have to buy it for parts. And the guy's like, well, I can't do anything with it. So I'll just take the 30 bucks. So he took the 30 bucks, right? So then Amy starts playing with it because she's like a puzzle solver, right? So she did some research on Google. All she did was update the operating system on it. She hooked it up to iTunes and she installed a new version of it, and it worked perfect. It fixed the Wi-Fi. Phone was great. She was able to restore it, and that didn't cost us anything except a little creativity. So we just turned $30 into 260 bucks with less than an hour's worth of work. I mean, where can you make that kind of money without a college degree, with that kind of, without a crazy skill set, right? I mean, I didn't take any repair skills. She hooked it up to iTunes and Googled it. It was simple, right? But
wow,
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And for you guys that are watching, I mean, you don't have to do that with every time, because even if I bought this for 130 bucks, it still would have been pretty good, right? That's like 110 profit after. You just don't want to do that work, right? But we're going to do that for them, and we get paid well for it. So that's the cool thing about that. Chris, is there any more questions? Because I'm talking everybody's ear off here.
No, people pay for services, guys, and this is a service. One thing I learned in the last course that I took is, if you're offering a service that's good for the world, it is your duty to offer that service to the world, right? So, buying electronics from people that are broken, that's a good service, guys. Like, it's a good business to be in. It is not going to die anytime soon, like Dave was talking about. It is here to stay for quite a while, even whenever we have, the Tony Stark devices that are going on, in the next couple of years where they're see-through and everything, where people are still going to be able to flip those. It's a great business to be in, and it's always evolving, and it's getting more profitable every single year.
That's true, because every year there's smart something coming out. I mean, pretty soon we're gonna have smart cars. They're gonna have the iCar or something. I mean, yeah, just more and more things to flip, like you said.
Yeah, I think about 2.5 years ago when I got started, the top people that I saw were making like 10,000. They were doing like 10,000 or 12,000 a month in sales. And now it's very common for people to be doing. It takes work, it takes effort, it takes consistency. Of course, it takes the right information, because you got to have the right information to take the right action to get the right results. But now, I mean, we know lots of people that are doing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, just because the platforms have expanded. And there's other items that are kind of more common now than they were a few years ago. A lot of smartwatches, a lot of tablets. Laptops, I guess, were kind of always popular, but we're kind of going after those more. So it's very nice. I think the stat is like over 4 billion people have smartphones. And then that doesn't include the other electronics. So I was like, all right, if I could just get a couple of these a day consistently, I just need a couple of these a day consistently, and then I'd be able to quit my job, which was my goal back then, which, of course I did.
And the cool thing about this is, now that we've been doing this so long, we've got such a tight-knit community. We're able to share our results, and we've been able to mastermind and learn from each other. And we'll be able to now, like Aaron said, create a system that produces consistent results very reliably, where you just kind of plug it into the system, and it's like turning the key in the car. You turn it on and it just goes, and that's the cool thing about that.
Andy asked in the comments, is it better to focus solely on flipping or add repairs to my skills?
I think repairs are great. I think it all depends on where you want to start, right? But I think flipping is the easiest way to get started. Repairs takes a little bit of mental discipline. It can be challenging. You're going to break a couple phones. Flipping, as long as you follow the rules, the worst thing's going to happen, you're going to break even. You might lose a couple dollars, but it's probably going to be so much easier and less skills, because you'll be able to look on eBay, find out what something's selling for, and make them an offer on it. So if you see something's going to sell for $200, you could buy that for $100. And even if you make a mistake, you'll probably at the very least get your money back, because you're offering them a price you're going to make a profit on. So the learning curve is a little less. We have people. God, we had a 16-year-old kid that joined our program. In less than a week, he was already at $1,000 in sales. It's crazy, right? I mean, where can you at 16 years old be able to do that? We actually just hit another 16-year-old kid. I won't say his name actually, because he wanted me to mention it because of his age, but he just opened his own cell phone repair store. He's been in the program for a couple of years. In 8th grade, he was doing $8,000 a month after school as an electronics reseller business, which is just pretty awesome. Now at 16, he's opening his very own cell phone repair shop. He started with flipping first before he got into the repairs, though, because again, the repairs are a little trickier. So I don't know if I got sidetracked on that, answering that question a little bit, but I think, Aaron started off and he started flipping. And Aaron, you played with repairs a little bit, but then you just kind of went full on with flipping, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get, the problem I had in the past, and this was just me, was that I'd focus on 10,000 things at once. Say, all right, I'm gonna do the real estate, the wholesale, the flipping of the homes, the Shopify, the Amazon, and I have 25,000 other things, and I wouldn't be able to get focused. So I want to just get focused on one thing, get good at that one thing, and then expand to something else. So I just got good at the phone flipping thing, and I think it was once I was doing $30,000 a month, then I got your repair course, and then I did some repairs, and it was nice. And I got a tip, like you said. Someone gave me, I charged him like $69. This lady gave me $100. She said, keep the change. I was like, okie dokie. I was in Panera Bread. I would do the repairs in Panera Bread. And I would watch your videos as I was doing the repairs. It took me about an hour to do the first few repairs. So I'd be sitting there. I remember one time I'm sitting there in Panera Bread. I had the blow dryer. So making all this noise inside with the blow dryer, and I'm watching your videos at the same time because, I want to make sure the screws are correct in the motherboard and the big screw goes in. Yeah, I was just figuring it out as I went along. But I got good at flipping first, and then I kind of dabbled with. I did do a handful of repairs, but then I did stop with the repairs.
So then when Aaron stopped doing the repairs though, like I think you went to like 50,000 a month within your first 6 months of doing this with just the flipping, right?
Yeah, I got to the point where there were the repairs, and you can make great money with the repairs. I had a friend of mine that got David's program. He got to the point, he had a big system down. He was doing like $1,500 a month. $1,500 a week in profit about. But yeah, I just got to the point where I was just making so much flipping, I didn't really need the repairs. My goal was always to make good money working part-time hours. I could have done both, and I just didn't want to be working like 50 hours a week. I wanted to be working about 30 hours a week, and if I could do that, make a good $1,500 to $2,500 a week in profit, that was kind of good for me, because then I could have, time to do a bunch of other things.
Awesome. Any other questions coming in, Chris?
Oh, hold on.
Jeff says, he just commented, says he picked up a 6+ today for $40. Says he flipped it for $175.
Woohoo! Way to go, Jeff.
Nice.
Good job. All right. And that's the crazy thing that you get these cool things about this business. Now, for you guys that are not sure where you're at, where you want to do flipping or repairs. I mean, you could do both. But the flipping. See, a lot of people think to flip phones, right, or be electronics reseller, you got to be good with the techie person. It actually has nothing to do with the techie part. Guys that are really good in electronics reseller business are better advertisers than they are techie guys. Me personally, I hate repairs. I'm just going to be honest. I don't really like repairing phones. I'm okay. I'm pretty good. I mean, I just repaired a phone earlier. I mean, screen cost me like $40. I charged $130, made a $90 profit. But this other phone I just bought that I paid $30 for is going to sell for $260. It took me 5 minutes to buy, and I'm going to make a $230 profit. I'd rather be doing that than doing the repairs, all day. So, for me, like my expertise, I'm very, very good with paid Facebook advertising, and we can put ads out that get people excited to call us or to message us that want to sell their phone at a price to make a profit. And I'm really good at getting those ads out. And that's what all three of us are actually. Aaron is fantastic. So is Chris. We all are good at that. That's why we've done pretty well with our business. And that's where the key kind of in this business is getting really good at placing those ads, knowing what pictures to put out, what platforms to advertise in, what to say in your ads, and then how to respond to the leads. We have a program that we teach people. We mentor students that have done that do very, very well. And Aaron was mentoring them the other day on a live coaching call. And he showed, very minute negotiation strategies that make a big difference in your profit margin. So we broke it down. He had this beautiful guide. It's probably one of the sexiest guides I've ever seen for a kind of an informational program. It was pretty amazing. And it showed the 5 steps of negotiation. He broke it all down. And he showed how to close when people respond, how to get them down in price. So those are kind of the basics in the flipping business is really, figuring out what an item's worth, placing the ad so you get the leads, and then learning how to negotiate. Those are the things that we train our students with that program. Mike had asked, Dave, are you at $25 a day or $30 to $5 a day on Facebook ads? I'm testing some stuff. So I'm at $50 a day right now, temporarily, just to kind of test because we got some cool strategies. Phone was like ringing off the hook today, and I had tons of messages. So it was busy. But I'll cut it back down to about $40 a day after this week because I'm just playing with stuff right now.
We got a couple more questions too. So does anyone know how to increase the seller limits when eBay puts on the MC011 restriction? I think you just call them, right?
If you get an eBay restriction?
Yeah, somebody was asking about an eBay restriction, but I'm pretty sure you just call up eBay. That's all I've ever had to do, and they just take it off typically.
Was it a limit, like they couldn't sell, or did they get suspended?
Yeah, they said it was a seller limit.
Yeah, usually if you just call and you're super nice to the reps, we've had a lot of students that just call and then eBay remove your limits, even if you're brand new. Like if you tell them you're brand new and you're serious about this business and you plan on doing this long term, you might have to call 2 or 3 times, but as long as you get the right rep, they'll remove the limits for you. I've seen my students do it a ton of times. Our students do it plenty of times.
Ali says, any books you can suggest to learn negotiation skills? I have one. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That is a very, very good book.
Yep.
Do you have
Aaron is probably one of the best at negotiation I've seen. I'm sure he could probably recommend a few books.
Tom Hopkins is good, like How to Master the Art of Selling. I believe that's it, or it's How to, I think he's got 2 books. Just Tom Hopkins. If you just Google like Tom Hopkins sales books, it's either How to Master the Art of Selling or How to Sell Anything. How to Master the Art of Selling Anything, I think is what it is. And then Grant Cardone's got Grant Cardone, I forget the name of it, but his sales book is real good too. Some of these principles, though, that these guys teach applies more to face-to-face selling than it does over the phone or message negotiation. So some stuff does need to be tweaked a little bit. But, you take Chris's book, you check out these couple books, you test, you experiment a little bit, definitely on the right track.
You're going to learn a little bit of something from every single book. So
I think one of my favorite books, it's not a negotiation book, but it probably, I think effective communication is one of the most important parts of negotiation. I think The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was one of my favorite books for communicating and negotiations.
It's a really good one.
And it's not one most people recommend as far as sales and negotiating, but it helped me a lot, I think.
So Linda asks, is it good to run Facebook ads? Yes. Facebook ads are very good. Jeff says, I was thinking about getting into repairs, but I would have to hire someone to do it. Thoughts? ?
I don't recommend hiring people for stuff like that unless you know how to do it yourself. I would get good at the basics because there's a lot of mistakes to make. I've hired a lot of people in this business now, and it's very hard. If you hire a guy that has experience and you don't know how to do it, he could just completely destroy everything and BS you the whole time, and you'd have no clue. Because there's a lot of things that you wouldn't know about if he makes a mistake and he could just lie to you. So I really recommend, if you are going to hire people for repairs, you should probably do the repair yourself, get it down. Even if you're not that great at it, just do it so you kind of know the process and then hire someone. It's very hard to hire good people in this particular business that know this business, that aren't like know-it-alls and are gonna, because if they knew it that well, they'd probably just start their own business in this type of business, right? So it's better to know it and then train someone. You can usually hire for a lot less too.
Then we got some more about the same question about the eBay limitations. Total value of your active stores. Oh, it's a $5,000 limit. Yeah, unfortunately, limits are just something you have to deal with for a little while. It's going to happen. It happened to me. I remember I had like 10 phones I had to list, and I got hit with an eBay limit, and I couldn't sell for a month. Got direct buyers. Back whenever I started, I didn't even know about direct buyers, so that wasn't even a thing, right? Somebody said, I've been running for 2 months now and have been selling around 15,000 in revenue a month. It's really good.
Fantastic.
Nice.
It's awesome.
That's great.
That's probably why you're hitting your eBay limits.
Mm-hmm. Good problem.
You're selling.
Yeah.
Fast. Whenever eBay is, you got to be careful with eBay. If once you start doing really good, like really fast, they kind of put a hold on it because it looks suspicious. So you always just got to be careful. That's why I like to diversify a lot of where I sell my stuff, right? So PayPal, Swappa, direct buyers, having all those different places to go is really, really nice because it divvies up the sales. That way you don't get hit with those horrible limits that destroy your business.
And depending where you're at too, if you're brand new, pick one avenue and get good at it first. That's, the best thing. Like for me, I wanted to get good at eBay, and I still stick with eBay just because I know it so well. But also, if you like, I noticed someone asked in the comments about returns. If you're nervous about eBay returns, start with the direct buyer. You might make $5 or $10 less per phone, but then you won't have that pressure of the refunds if you're scared about that. And just build your business based on direct buyers for right now. And then once you get to a certain point where you can't grow fast enough, switch over to eBay. Start learning a new platform, like Chris said, and then diversify and you increase your profit margins.
Buying other items besides phones as well is a really good way to diversify your income. David said this multiple times. But whenever whenever you're just doing phones, you're working off of one source of income. When you start buying MacBooks and laptops and game consoles, now you're operating on 3 to 4 sources of income. The other day I didn't buy one phone, but I bought 2 PlayStations. Like I still made money.
We pulled 3 PlayStations that were dead out of the closet today. Video games are so hot right now because a lot of people are sitting at home. These things don't even turn on, and they're selling for $100 each on eBay. So we just pulled $300 out of the closet from a dead stash of PS4s, and we're going to blow those out for $300, which is awesome.
Wow.
So I use your strategy, Chris, and I started those game console ads the other day. PS4s are at $500 right now for a PS4 Pro. Imagine that.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Fantastic.
The cool thing about this business is, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? And you just got to figure out what method works the best for you. Because we all have kind of our different flavors we like a little bit. I'm kind of a little bit, I do the repairs, but and I'm a big paid Facebook ad guy. I'm not big onto the free ads anymore. Aaron built his business all on free ads, did amazing, right? If you have a job and you just want to do this part-time, you don't want to put as much effort in, you can use a little bit more automated strategies, maybe not make as much, but make good money for the hours you're working, and then keep that job that maybe you got a really good job, you're making 70, 80,000 a year. You want to just make an extra, maybe 40 or 50 grand a year on the side, part-time. That's a way to do it. Some people might want to fix and flip. There's a lot of times we'll throw on, I just bought an iPhone XR today. I bought it for $115. It's unlocked iPhone XR. And all I got to do, the screen cost me $40 for that. Throw a screen on there. I could sell that locally for about $430. So we take $150 in cost now for $430. There's a lot of different ways you can make money in this business. But I think the best thing is to figure out what works for you, for your lifestyle, for your personality, for your comfort level, and then take it from there. Take a little bit from here, here, and here, and put it together what works best for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have Brenda who's in your program. She says she's been working about 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Usually takes the weekends off. So she's working about 10 hours a week. And she's been averaging about $2,000 in profit a month for the last over 2 years. So not making a gazillion dollars, but also not working, 30, 40 hours, working 10 hours a week and making an extra $500 a week in profit. That's great. Helps out with bills, helps out with extra money for fun stuff.
That's how I did it. I was working as a server at a restaurant, and, I was making an extra $1,000 a month for quite a long time until I got into the program. And then I shot up to 15,000 in sales a month. At that point, I was making, an extra $4,000 a month in profit, working as a server at a restaurant. And at that point, I was like, I'm making more than my job. I'm leaving,
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good feeling, being in that the work office, and everybody's asking like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm going to flip electronics. And they were like, you're going to do what? But it's pretty cool though, because a lot of the people that I used to work with still come to me to sell their phones. I had one of my work friends reach out to me today for an iPhone X. So nice.
Pretty awesome.
It's a great business to start. It really is. And it teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot more than just how to resell electronics. That's for sure.
And that's a great thing. A lot of new entrepreneurs, they say, Dave, I hate my job. I want freedom. I want to be my own boss. But the cool thing with this business is you can work on the side. You can hustle like Chris just did right there until your job costs you money. Like people are like, well, I'm afraid to leave my job. Well, I don't think anybody should leave their job. I think that's a bad idea. But I think what the best thing is to work on the side until you're making so much, it actually annoys you to go to work at that point. It literally costs you money to go to work. That's where okay, it's time to tell my boss.
That's what it was too. I was only making about $2,000 a month at my job as a server. And I was good at my job, but it was hard work, like I am thankful for that job. I learned a lot of negotiation skills and people skills with that job. But while I was making $4,000 on the side outside of my job, I was like, what the hell am I even doing here? Like, why am I here? But going full time was one of the best things I ever did.
Man, I think back, I'm getting kind of goosebumps because I remember me and Aaron once having a phone call when he was brand new and just starting. It was like 2 months in. Aaron had hit like 15,000 or something like that. His second month, 20,000, and he was still working for $11 an hour. Remember, he was at T-Mobile. And Aaron, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but Aaron, I remember Aaron. I said, so Aaron, what, do you think maybe it's time to kind of get out of that job and start doing this full time? And he said, well, Dave, I'm kind of nervous. And how much were you making at that job per week total with your hours at the time, Aaron?
Oh, it was like, I think my paycheck was like 580, or it was like 580, 680 every 2 weeks after all taxes.
And now, and now, what's your average? What last year? What was your average profit per month? Would you say
About 10,000.
10,000 a month in profit? So that's about $2,500 a week. And how many hours did you work per week, you think, on that?
No more than 30.
Pretty awesome, right? That's pretty. It's just cool. It's awesome to see that that stuff happen and see you guys. Now you guys are doing much more than that stuff, but.
I remember when I got started in the business, I started doing good. And I remember before at my job, I really needed the job. I needed the job for the money. So like the managers, they could feel it. I don't know how, but they could feel it. And they would like be kind of real strict with me. And they'd really kind of tell me what to do. And I had to abide by it. But as I started making money with your program, and then after we had that talk and I thought about like leaving my job, I think they could sense that they couldn't like really control me anymore. They couldn't really dangle that carrot of job security over my head just because I didn't need it. So the whole dynamic switched. It got to the point where there's one manager, she would like help me, and she was really nice. She would have done it anyway, but like she would like help me close deals. She would like sell a phone and let me put it under my name. But she would have done it anyway. She was a really nice manager. But like the couple managers I had before that, it was like they could just like kind of feel a shift. It was like really, really good. And I remember one time we were all going to order pizza, and this was just like 2.5 months after I got in the business. So we were going to order pizza, and someone was like, "Oh, I got like I think I got $10," and another person's like, "Oh, can I pay you when I get paid on Friday?" And I like reached in my pocket and I pulled out like $3,500 in cash, which I don't know if I should have been, but I don't care about that. But I pulled it out. It was like all the money I had, but it was still good from where I was a couple months ago. And I was like, oh, okay, here's my $15. I went through all the hundreds, here's my $15.
Well, guys, I got to hop off. I got to go talk to somebody about joining the program. So if anybody else is looking to do that, you can type call in the comments below and I'll reach out to you. Looks like we might have another person joining us today. So I'm going to hop off the call. I'm going to let you guys take it from here.
Well, this was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for joining. I really enjoyed hearing the stories. That's the first time I heard that story right there, Aaron. So that was pretty awesome. Thanks everybody for watching too, coming on today. I guess we'll wrap it up. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Guess we'll see you guys next week. Hey, really quick, just to ask everybody, Chris, can I ask everybody a quick question? Do you guys like this type of thing if we just go live and tell stories each week, or would you kind of like specific topics? Because I kind of like this. I kind of like hearing the stories from you guys. It was pretty fun. I think I lost Chris. Might be frozen. Well, I think we might have lost Chris, but if you guys are still there and type in the comments, let us know. I'll check them after the live and see. But I guess we'll see you guys later on then.
All right, sounds good. Good seeing you guys here, and David and Chris, of course. Good seeing you too.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, see ya.